Living the good fat life with your host Karen and Sherri. They'll help everything align for your body, soul, and mind. The good fat life, whether change comes slow or dramatically. The good fat life will help you sort things out organically.
Hey.
Oh my
Sherri,
gosh.
we're back.
We're back. It just feels
God.
so good, doesn't it?
It does. It feels so good to hear that song again. I missed it.
I know, me too. And I missed you and our
I missed you.
conversations.
I know, right? So much has happened, and wow, it's fall.
It is. It's
Yeah.
September, and it has that energy of moving into something new and leaving some things behind.
For sure, right?
So what's happening with you?
Well, I'm leaving behind my old name, my old married name, Karen Kalnasian, and I'm moving back into Karen Efaw. Get ready. Drum roll, please. Karen Efaw since 1969.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm going back to her, and it's kind of funny where I left her at 19. Well, no, I was 23 where I left her, but I think of Karen Efaw at 19, and she's a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to being her again.
Being her again.
Yeah.
Well,
2.0, right?
And
Yeah.
that fits so much into play. I mean, Summer was. I just learned so much on our play issue about playing and that energy. So it all fits, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, every time it's like right on time. It's
Right.
like, yeah, it's like my own podcast teaches me something in the magazine. So I hope it's doing it for other people.
Right. Well, I think I feel like we always hear or teach what we need to hear, right? So
Yeah,
that's good.
for sure.
So speaking of which, our guest today
I'm
is.
so excited.
So, you want to introduce her?
So today we have Hena Husain. She is. You tell us your title because I will mess it up. But tell us what you do. I just you got a great title. So go ahead.
Thank you, Karen.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sherri, for having me on the program. And I just love the name, Good Fat Life.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
So, Hena Husain, my business is Balance4Life. 17 years ago, the name came to me that we all need to create balance, whether it's work-life balance, emotions, and, the four fields that we kind of spiritual, emotional, career, and physical. So it just came to me and I started my business. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. I'm a mind coach, a speaker, and I've authored 3 books. And my latest book was From Fear to Freedom.
Right. I have the book here. I don't see it. Here. Can we see it? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there's her book, From Fear to Freedom, which we're going to talk about, which I'm really excited about. And then tell us about the other 2 titles.
The other 2 titles, I have a tree drawing book, so you can really get into personalities by interrupting how people draw the tree. Is they draw from the subconscious mind, so I use it as a tool for, kind of diagnostic purposes.
So say that again, tree drawing.
Insights to tree drawing, insights to relationship. So I have a series, Insight to Marketing. So these are 3 mini series. They're like 50 pages each and kind of give you, just the bottom line and what to do. And this was the 4th book, actually, which was #1 on Amazon in self-help for 2 weeks.
Wow, good for
That's-
you.
that's quite an
saying
accomplishment.
something.
Yeah.
Wow, we're a very good
Congratulations.
company. Yeah,
Yes.
congratulations. Wow. Yeah, this book really spoke to me. In fact, a weird, strange coincidence we talked about. I was in a box at my work pulling out books and oracle cards, and I just picked this book up. I didn't even see it was you last night at 10 o'clock. So here you are. So quick manifestation. So I went from fear to freedom already with you being here, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah. So thank you for being here. Oh my gosh, Sherri, we're so lucky.
I know. So tell us, people hear hypnotist and they have all these misconceptions. So tell us, what is that?
Okay.
What does that really mean, and how does
Great
it
question,
work?
Sherri, because people think it's like I'm gonna wave a watch and it's
Make
like,
someone act like a chicken on stage.
and
Yeah.
There's a lot of misconception because of they think it's stage hypnosis, and stage hypnosis is really legit and it has its own place, but clinical side it's really hypnosis. Number one misconception is that I'm going to make you do something. I'm not.
Okay.
Hypnosis is something you are doing already on a daily basis. Like, you don't even know it, but it is hypnosis.
Can you tell us
Yeah,
what that looks
an
like?
example.
So, like, how many times have you driven from work to home and from work, home to work, and you don't remember the stop sign and the traffic light, but you got home, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people, so you're in the zone because since 16, you've been driving every day, so your subconscious takes over. So you do it on autopilot. So basically, you're doing under hypnosis, okay? A lot of times when, you're watching a really intense program or the Super Bowl, you don't hear the people around you. You get zoned in. So the TV is actually the best hypnotic tool because you're focused in one place and you get into the emotion, and then your conscious mind kind of goes out. So the subconscious takes over and all the suggestions get absorbed. That's why people pay multi-million-dollar for a 30-second ad in between the Super Bowl. Why? Because they know everybody's...
Wow, that's fascinating, isn't it, Karen?
That's
Okay,
because
go.
everybody's glued to the TV, and if they say, I'm not promoting anything, but they say buy Bud Light instead of Coors, it's going to go into the mass audience who's been watching.
Yeah.
Or buy Tide instead of, oil.
Yeah.
So it's like basically you are being hypnotized nonstop. Like, how many times have you gone to the movies and right before the movie starts, you see the Coke ad and the popcorn popping, and you suddenly
gotta go get
this,
some right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't go to
go.
the movies a lot.
Yeah,
because
right.
I
and
see that
all
ad.
of a sudden you get the urge to.
Yeah.
So we are being hypnotized by the media, by the TV, all the time.
Yeah.
It's just that we don't know it. And so it's not something, you're already going in and out of hypnosis. It's like a wave, like a brain wave. So when you're totally conscious, like we are right now, so you are alert and you are at beta wave. And then when you're kind of relaxed and calm and right before bed or just before getting out of bed, you're in alpha. So you're kind of all day, you're going in and out, kind of zoning in and zoning out. So you could be in the hypnotic zone and then you come out in hypnotic zone. So it depends. That's why when we're focused, our subconscious is open for the suggestion. And that's why the ads, they pay so much at prime time so that you buy their product.
Well, two things come to mind. Number one, this just really puts in perspective how important it is to the things you watch and the things that are in your environment for you and your children. Like, it just really puts that in perspective.
Absolutely.
Or the people that are around you,
Yeah,
the conversations
everything.
that are being had.
Right. Wow. Right. Which this is happening, but it's like in your subconscious, right? Like when you hear it, it's like, oh my gosh, wow, that makes total sense.
But I don't know. I was having a conversation with a client yesterday who has an employee that's incredibly negative. But the woman has no concept that what she's saying is negative.
Yeah.
Right? It's just what she knows and her way of being. And so when they call her on something, it's like, what? That's not negative. It's just interesting how
it's how she was programmed.
Exactly.
So I call it's like a programming. Your subconscious is from the time you were born, like literally till now, it's like a movie camera. It recorded everything. And what you took on. So simple example, like people say, oh my God, parents come to me, it's like, I have 3 kids and like, they're all different. So, but I raised them the same, So I'm like, yes, you raised them. So if you were having an argument with your husband about money, let's say, which most parents do, then 3 kids are watching. One is going to say, oh my God, I'm never going to do that again. When I grow up, money is not going to be an issue. The middle child is going to say, oh my God, they're fighting because of me, because I wanted that toy. It's all my fault. And, the third one is going to say, oh, these old people, these parents,
Yeah.
they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So each child will take that event as a child differently. So how they take on a belief system as a child from their surrounding affects their life for the rest of your life. So in the book, From Fear to Freedom, I share that I had intense fear to the point that I could not go to the bathroom by myself. I had to drag somebody to go with me because I would get a panic attack if I was by myself.
And how old were you then? Were you little or adult?
Yeah,
or,
adult, even
Okay.
adult. Like
Okay.
even I had my kids.
Okay.
I was married.
Was
with,
it trauma or was it anxiety?
So I did not know where the anxiety and where the fear was coming from. But growing up, I had an event in my life that created that deep fear and that self-worth that I was not good enough. So I took that belief system on at age 5. So the event happened at age 5, and I took on that, that event happened to me because I'm not good enough. I'm not worth it. So all my life, I felt I was not a good mom. I was not a good wife. I was not a good worker. Nothing, because it was playing in the background. And your subconscious is really the 90% that you make a decision on a daily basis. And, less than 10 is the conscious one. So I'm like, the driving emotion in the background was fear. So I wouldn't do so many things. I remember the first time I went to New York for a conference, I was like, I couldn't sleep because I would be watching the door all night with fear. Like, somebody's going to break in. Something's bad going to happen when you're by yourself.
Were you in touch with what happened to you, or did you have to go through hypnosis?
I found out at age 40 when I went to hypnotherapy school in Lansing, Michigan, that my fear really came from a child abuse, sexual abuse event at age 5.
Oh, okay.
So that's when it really came up, and then I started healing. So it was a healing process. Before I couldn't even talk about it. I would go into breakdown. But now the key thing is we all have events in our past that, we don't feel good about or is playing, but it's not the event. So what hypnosis does is you have the event, but we attach emotions, whatever emotions, fear, not good enough, anger, hurt, anxiety. So we attach the emotion to the event. Once you clear the emotion, so through hypnosis, you can take care of the emotion that was attached to the event. So then next time when you cleared the emotion, you can think about that event in your past and not trigger that emotion anymore.
But do you even have to think about the event?
No, I mean, if it comes up,
Yeah.
you don't have to think about
lots
it.
of times
but
you don't even know. You have no clue, right?
People think, oh my God, you're going to erase the memory. No, we don't erase the memory. We just kind of delete and heal the emotions that attached
To that.
to that memory.
So you sort of, because your body, like you said, remembers everything. So you have like that muscle memory of that
Yes.
experience. So it takes you back almost like in a time travel sort of way. You're right back there.
Absolutely.
And so the hypnosis is what sort of clears out that path, correct?
Yes.
Correct? And then you go to you take a
So
sort of a
through-
different path?
So through hypnosis, I get the client to relax so I can access their subconscious mind. And I want the audience to understand it's all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. I am not doing anything to you. Okay, that's really clear. People think, oh my God, she's going to take over me. She's going to make me quack like a duck and walk like a dog.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
I always picture like the swirly black and white eyes.
Yeah, nothing like that. That has a space. It's space in stage hypnosis that for entertainment, the people who go up on the stage, they're willingly going up to entertain you.
Right.
So, and the hypnotist takes people who are highly suggestible and then gives them suggestions so they act that way to entertain. So it has a legit purpose.
Right.
And it's an entertainment purpose. So they're really they think that they're a duck and they think they're a dog because of the suggestion the hypnotist is giving, and they're highly suggestible, so they do it. But when you come in a clinical setting, you are coming to heal or change a behavior or eating habit or stop smoking, a behavior in your life that you're not happy about.
Yeah. Can I ask you, so, because we just briefly talked about that I'm entering a new phase in life. And is it something like when you keep having events happen in your life that every time another event happens, you just go right back to that time at 5 or whatever? It just like sort of takes you back there?
Yes,
and
it
if you
does.
clear it and then things like that happen, it clears kind of all of
Absolutely,
it?
because your subconscious, the memory is there, the emotions are attached to that memory. So when a similar event or environment or even somebody that looks like him shows up, so it's like instantly the emotion kicks in. You feel anxiety or you feel anger. He did this to me or whatever.
Yeah.
That comes in and the muscle memory remembers. So even with food, I mean, weight loss is a huge, with food, like people go to an environment, the food starts calling their name.
Yeah.
And your muscles and your body starts developing, like the chemicals to, I want this food, I want this food. Before you know it, you're grabbing it, it's in your mouth.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that, expand on that. So I just recently started back on pretty strict keto on Monday. Over the summer, there's a series of things that happened. We were playing more and doing things, and I just didn't realize that I was eating more carbs and sugar, which I don't normally eat much, but yet I was started gaining some weight, and so I started back on a really more strict keto with the high fat and stuff. I had bacon and eggs for breakfast, which was amazing.
Yum.
But I would love to have a better understanding. So there's part of me that feels so good about just feeling better in my body, but there's another part of me. It's like there's so much associated with carbs, with cake and with popcorn and, just stuff. So how does that work?
It's emotional. It is, I want you to understand.
Well, food is the first emotion, isn't
that
it?
it is 90% of the time, the decision we make is based on emotions, how we feel about ourselves.
Okay.
Wow.
So the more your self-worth, the better the decision. And, at the end of the day, if you had a really crappy day and you're stressed out, you make bad decisions when we're stressed out and not feeling good about ourselves. Like, who cares? Have another cake,
Right.
There's no accountability either. Nobody's holding you accountable. So it's like just you fighting with your own self. It's like two voices.
Yeah.
One is saying, I really want this. Other says, no, 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 no. But at the end of the day, emotions override logic and rationale. So your conscious mind is the logic, the rationale, but that makes 10% or less than 10% of your decision on a daily basis. And more than 90 is the subconscious, which is based on emotions. So when there's a struggle, emotions always override logic and rationale.
Yeah.
So basically, when you buy things, think of what you bought last. You bought it based on emotion, not logic and rationale. Whether you bought a dress or a shoe, it's like, how is it going to make me feel? How's it going to make me look?
Well, I pretty much don't do anything on logic, so I probably.
So then when you come in, so if a person came to you, say for, we'll just say weight loss, because it's prevalent, right? So could you just walk us through what that looks like?
Absolutely. So let's say my, one client just came in last week and she would drink 2 liters of regular pop every day.
Wow. Okay.
So she was a popaholic, So that was her drug of choice. I'd say everybody has a drug of choice.
Right.
Whether it's sugar, whether it's carb.
Whether it's a drug.
Yeah. And these are, hidden drugs. I mean, we're not even talking about alcohol or real
or mental, right? Mental,
yeah.
like mental drug. Yeah.
Sugar is the number one addiction.
Right.
It really is. And getting off sugar, because can you imagine 2 liters of pop every day, regular? How much sugar that has? So we just so she comes in and that's her biggest struggle because that's giving her the weight gain. So I always ask, what is your one thing that if you could change today that will help the rest of your life, So let's say for her it was drinking pop. So we go into what is the reason, what is your why, first of all, to stop drinking the pop? What is your why to stop eating the chocolate? What is your why to stop that drug of choice? Or stop smoking?
Or the behavior.
Yeah,
or, it
or
could
the
be-
behavior.
Right, okay.
So your why has to be bigger than the behavior. So if she says, oh my God, I gotta stop drinking this pop because if I don't stop, I'm at the verge of obesity and then I gotta go get gastric bypass and I gotta health issues and I can't knee surgery. So then all of a sudden, when I know the reason, then I can give that reason to the subconscious when I have the access. Hey, Karen wants to stop drinking pop today because, and so I give the reason what the client gave me.
Okay.
So then the subconscious resonates with the client's reasons. So I give you everything you want at a subconscious level. So the subconscious then takes it and then, from the next day she stopped drinking pop. She's like, oh, it doesn't taste good. I give suggestion, it doesn't taste good. It doesn't smell good. It's like, maybe aversion as well. Like it tastes like piss.
Wow.
Yeah. And so does
That's
it just
fascinating.
one time is all it takes, or does it take longer? Like, does it depend on how rooted, how traumatic, or?
That's totally relevant based on the client. Sometimes 90% of my stop smokers, they stop smoking in one session. Okay?
Oh, that's a great.
Yeah. So within a
statistic.
week, they stop smoking.
Wow.
And like I said, even with bread, it takes kind of a little more because it's so deep rooted.
Yeah,
So
that's
delicious.
true. No,
Yeah.
bread is so
Yeah,
deep rooted.
bread,
People eat
exactly.
bread. Bread is really important. I know.
Yeah,
I know
so
it's a
bread
carb,
took
Sherri,
a
but yeah.
long
Bread has
time.
such a beautiful heritage.
Because it's
does,
all over
right.
the place as well. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? It's like, it's in your face. Everywhere you go, it's in your face.
And
Yeah.
then in every culture,
Yeah, breaking
there's
bread
this
and-
delicious. Yeah, exactly. Because it's not just eating.
Yeah.
It
So-
starts from being with loved people you
So
love.
once the subconscious accepts the suggestion, which kind of getting aligned. So consciously you come to me, I gotta stop smoking.
Mm-hmm.
And then the subconscious was obviously not aligned because if it was aligned, you would have done it on your own. Okay? A lot of
Okay,
people do it
okay.
on their own. But so when they come to me, I get the subconscious to get aligned with your conscious goal.
Mm-hmm.
And when they agree, you excel in your goal.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a list of
I know.
20 things.
And it's reminding me of COVID. Remember how we were like, well, I should be doing this, and I should be that. I'm like, and I'm finally like, you know what? If I was ever going to do that, I would have done it. I finally realized that. Like, I'm never going to do that, ever. It doesn't matter if there's a pandemic. It's never going to happen unless I go to hypnotherapy.
Yeah. So that is the key because I just help you access your own subconscious mind and give the suggestions you want in your life to change your life. So really, it's all you.
Yeah.
And then, I give you tools as well so that when you are at home, I'm not with you. So breathing technique, I teach you tapping techniques so that, when you are on your own for the next week, usually if there's a weight loss, I say, okay, we're going to see you once a week for an hour for 4 weeks to get over whatever the emotional eating you do.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if people have come with a big, huge trauma, relationship issues, it's really a big deal because if our relationships are not in order with ourselves, number one, and the people in our life, our close people, our spouses, our kids, then that really plays in the background, that subconscious stress, I call it. And that kind of leads us into making the bad decisions because we're not in peace with ourselves.
You're in a reactionary phase.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell the audience that, what is that one thing we can do no matter where you're at? good, bad, and the ugly does not matter. What is that, like 1% you can do for yourself today to move in the right direction? That, what is that one thing that's going to create more peace in your life? Because it's all about creating the peace in your life. Health, wealth, emotions, relationship. And relationships are really, so my book, From Fear to Freedom, talks about relationship. And I've shared candidly about my relationship with my spouse, with my kids, and how I struggled. Because it was all in my mind. I had everything.
Yeah.
I had a $500,000 home, you know, all the designer cars, the designer clothes, everything, but I was not happy inside. And till I found out that, you know what? Happiness is my choice. Nobody is responsible to make me happy. You can choose to be happy no matter where you're at. It's a choice.
Yeah.
You can choose to be stress-free no matter what your work environment is, no matter who you're with. It's a choice to be stress-free. And that's what I teach. I empower women a lot. That's one of my thing in the book, that, you know, I opened a women safe house as well. So that, you know, it's women, because we wear so many hats, and we're trying to be the mom, the worker, the wife. We've got so many roles to fulfill. The sister, the, you know.
Right. The community
Yeah,
advocate.
the community.
The friend.
Yeah, the friend.
The aunt.
So-
Yeah. Can I ask you, does it always come down, because we talked about it, and Sherri, you found this in your research, that people, that's the number one thing people are feeling right now, is they're unworthy. They feel they're unworthy. And do you find that that is really the case in all the things in the subconscious? It's just based in fear, like an unworthy feeling. And once that's erased, it sort of takes it away. Is that as simple as that?
Most of the time, we, like I said, we take that unworthiness on really between 5 and 10. And once we take that on, that belief system, it's a belief system. So if you believe you're
It'll
unworthy,
follow you
it
everything.
follows you till the rest of your life.
In every situation.
In every situation, it's playing in the background till you actively decide, okay, you know, why do I feel this way? So we can get into the subconscious, delete the old programming or reprogram, and then put the good stuff, increase your self-esteem and your self-confidence. So once your self-esteem and your self-confidence, then your self-worth becomes higher, then it doesn't matter anymore.
Then all those other things.
All those things just kind of fall off one at a time. I say you're wearing layers. So every time you come to me, we take off a layer and put a good stuff back in. We take off another layer and we put another good stuff back in.
Oh, yeah.
To reprogram.
But you can see, I can see how things happen between 5 and 10.
Yeah.
Right? And as little kids, and I can see how things happen that aren't like malicious.
Yeah.
And they are not abuse. They're not bad things. It's just how people are. Right?
It could be
So-
one tiny little comment,
So,
right?
a comment or
Yeah.
something
Exactly.
happens.
It's that what state the child is in. Like something simple, like my parents went to London, England when I was 5. So, you know, it's common practice to leave it with your parents, which would be my grandparents. So, you know, we all do that. It's not
Right.
like the parents did anything wrong.
Right.
But because I was with my grandparents, obviously they were not that supervising as parents would have. So, you know, I used to live with servants. So the servants had the opportunity to, you know, do the
Access to you.
access to me, I would say. So then at that moment, I'd say, oh, bad things happen. You know, maybe I'm not good enough. And I have feeling of abandon. I don't know when my parents are going to come back. I mean, you don't tell a 5-year-old, oh, I'm going to London, England. I'll be back in 2 weeks. You know, you think
Right.
they're not going to get it, but they do. I tell parents, tell them whether you think they're going to understand or not. But do tell them, hey, I'm going to work. I'll be back at 6 p.m. Even if it's a 2-year-old. Tell your child, you know, I will be back. I am going to work. And tell your child what to do rather than, we're so, don't touch this, don't go there, don't do this. We're always telling our child what not to do. Your subconscious doesn't hear the word not and don't. So it drops it and it makes them, so don't touch that, and then they go touch it. Because the subconscious doesn't hear at that age, negatives. They don't just get it.
Wow.
It drops that word of don't and no and not.
It's like they don't hear it.
They don't hear it.
It's not their frequency.
So it's like, don't cross that road, don't run, and they cross it.
Yeah. That's interesting.
But you just think of how many things, like you moved a lot as a kid, I moved a lot as a kid, and how many things happen that can have significant impact on us that, again, it wasn't bad or malicious.
Yeah.
It was just life.
Yeah.
Parents are trying to survive, doing what they need to do in order to build the life for us. And
Absolutely. Like, if I could go back, I would do things totally differently, because I didn't do anything right, because I learned all this when I was 40. I already had my 3 kids. So I already did my damage.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the
But
thing, right?
thank God the key was...
I'm sure they're amazing.
Yeah.
No, thank God that, I recognized it. It was
Yeah.
all about recognizing. So I did help my kids get over their anxiety. They all have it. All 3 of them had anxiety.
Speaking of kids, do you do hypnotherapy on children?
Yes, mostly 10 and above.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, for sure. And kids are easier because their subconscious is not that deep, maliciously programmed. As we get older, we get more bad programming. So it's easier. It is easier. I'm working with teenagers a lot because during COVID, and there was a lot of, there was a lot of suicides, and there were a lot of depression going on because just being stuck at home. So, I do Zoom. I do calls on Zoom. So,
And that works. So talk about a little bit more about anxiety, because I hear that everywhere. Anxiety in the world is so high right now.
yes.
And so can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. So I want the first concept everyone to understand that the thoughts, you are what you think and you are what you eat. So wherever you are, based on the thoughts you created in your own mind about yourself. So if you created those anxiety provoking thoughts, you can uncreate it. So I want you to feel empowered with that. Hey, I create these thoughts. I can uncreate
What about jinx? Yeah.
Okay? So an anxiety is like, oh my God, it's future based. We are anxious about what's going to happen. Anxiety is not past based. Anxiety is always...
Isn't depression in the past?
Depression is past based, stress, past based. Anxiety is, it's kind of what's going to happen.
It's developing depression
Yeah.
for the future.
It's
It
like,
is,
yeah.
It
It's
is
just like,
planting the seed.
What
yeah.
if I get,
Yeah.
go out? What if,
Yeah.
this, going to the interview? What if I get this job? What if?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we create these thoughts. So it's like a spiral, downward spiral.
And then your subconscious follows it and creates
the
it.
thoughts, so just go with me.
Yeah.
The thoughts creates the emotion. The emotion creates the action or no action. Then that gives you the result in your life. So, and a thought came in, oh my God, I got to go to this interview today. Or I hope I don't get late. And now that created the anxiety in my body. So now, even if I could drive better, I'm not going to be able to, drive as well as I could have.
Yeah.
And even if I didn't get late, I will get late. Now I got late. Now I'm late for the interview. So I'm going to, not take the action. Now the result, I didn't get the job. So everything is in this 4-step. The thoughts creates the emotion, which creates the action or no action, and then which gives us the result. So for example, I had shared this in the book. So the fear from that childhood abuse was playing in the background. Okay, so that fear created anxiety in my, oh my God, if I go to some place by myself, bad things are going to happen. So guess what? That created that emotion of fear and anxiety. I did not take half the job interviews that I could have gone or flown into or could have done by myself. That I'm not doing it. So then I didn't take the action and I didn't get the result in that area of my life. I could have been, Miss Tony Robbins, the number female speaker.
Yeah.
If I had taken that route. But my fear and anxiety stopped me, which was based on my past, which is not anymore.
Is it a lot about forgiveness of yourself as well, or no?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you do the work. So we add, subtract, or delete the programming you're working on. And definitely, usually the last few, sessions, we work on forgiving yourself, number one, because you created your life. So it's all about self-forgiveness and also the people in our life that we blame. So, and then think about this way, whatever happened, everything is in divine order. It made me who I am today.
And we're sort of part of something bigger.
Absolutely. So look at the big picture, that if that event didn't happen in my life, I wouldn't have worked so hard on myself. I wouldn't have found the people, the book that I did and become this confident leadership. Like I run programs now. I'm a speaker.
And you're helping lots of other people.
I help women. I do workshops. I do retreats. So I wouldn't be who I am today, if
you hadn't gone through
and then the self-forgiveness and forgiving the people in our life that we think. Nobody does anything to you. We do everything based on our own perception. So if somebody's even calling you or treating you bad, it's still up to you, whether to take it personally or not. It's still up to you to, if somebody calls, am I allowed to use a bad word on
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, not too bad, but yeah.
Okay. No, okay, so let's use a lighter one. So if somebody comes to you and calls you a bitch, you can say, oh yeah, that's a female poodle French dog.
Yeah.
You can, it's how you take the word to mean to you. What meaning do you put to it will cause you the emotion and the action and the reaction. So we all have the control in our own mind how we can react. If somebody's getting angry at you, it's not really you. They're angry at themselves, they're transferring it on you. Okay? It has nothing to do with you. So if you take it that, oh my God, that person was so mean, but you know what? I feel so sad that they must have a lot going on in their life for them to behave this way, and it has nothing to do with me. I don't have to take it personally.
Yeah, we always say happy people don't act like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it gives me compassion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So,
which is really good to hear when I'm starting my new phase in life.
Yeah.
Particularly.
But so there's, and I love what you're saying. And Karen and I have over the years come to learn this, and believe it. And I also know that there's millions and millions of people that have never been exposed to these ideas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like, a luxury almost. Yeah. To be thinking about these things.
And so, because once you are, you're like, wow, that's a really, it's an incredibly empowering thought. And so I love what you're doing in the sense of, and that we're having this conversation because that's a lot of what our whole mission is to help connect.
Yes.
And, help people that are in pain, high anxiety, feeling bad, feeling low self-esteem or self-worth to say, oh my gosh, there's another way.
Yes.
Because if you're not exposed to it, you have no idea.
Absolutely.
And also they feel isolated, right? They feel like it's got to be just me. Like because people aren't talking about it, right? So then it gives them an outlet and
I want the audience, everyone who's out there, to know there is help out there. You are not alone. And just everything starts with the thought. So if we can reframe the thought, we can feel differently then we can act differently and get different results in our life. So with one thing I would tell the audience today.
Hold that thought.
Sure.
Okay. Can you hold that thought?
Yeah.
Because that's
Okay.
no, and that's something that we love to ask our guests as we wrap up.
Absolutely.
And so that's the great question. So,
Yeah.
and before we do that, we want to take a moment to have
know,
a
this is so
conversation
exciting.
about
Snidecor's
Snedicor Cleaners.
right?
One of our co-partners here in co-creating Good Fat Lives
Green
and
cleaning.
Green
yeah.
cleaning. And one of the things that they have now is like in less than 30 seconds, you can schedule to have your cleaning picked up, your laundry picked up at your doorstep, and it delivered right back to you.
Oh, it's a great service. I have it at my house, and I'm so spoiled. It's like, I just put it on the door, and then it comes back clean and beautiful, and Jim's so great, and the company's so great, and they do a beautiful job.
They are. And then the other thing that I didn't know until I started getting to know them better is the products that they use. It's actually sand.
Wow.
And it's really environmental friendly. It actually makes the environment better than when before they got your clothes, and your clothes are cleaner because of it. So.
Yeah, and it's softer on your clothes, right? It makes your clothes last longer, and that's why Jim is so great, and the people at Snedicor's, because they do a lot of education and teach people. In fact, he was on our podcast, right, and talks about how heirloom fabrics and all that stuff. So they're really disruptors and making their way and because dry cleaners, I think, is one of the number one things that are bad for the environment, right?
Toxics,
so
but
they're doing their part, not at Snedicor's
but
Cleaners.
not at Snedicor's.
Yeah,
and so
Snedicor's,
anyways, we're just delighted to be able to
my
have
gosh.
them as part of the Good Fat Life.
Yeah, and how exciting we have a sponsor now.
Yeah,
We're like big deal, right?
Yeah. So that said, what? Yes. So what is it? The one thing that you want people to know? What can they do to start right now where they are? And if they wanted to get a hold of you, how would they do that?
Okay. One thing that you can do right now is just before going to sleep at night, I want you to put an image of yourself, how you want your life to be. So focus on what you want rather than what you're not getting. Because most people, just before falling asleep, your subconscious is kind of open for suggestions. So you're kind of in the zone.
Okay.
So put the image and the thought that you do want. So that way your subconscious works on it all night for you. So you wake up a better person.
Wow.
And
Just
that's
as simple
easy
as
to
that,
do.
huh?
Simple as that. So just before falling asleep, just get yourself, relax, focus on your breathing. Breathing is the number one tool that gets us to the present.
If you don't know what it is, could you just say something simple as like, I just want to wake up as a better person? Does your
Yes.
subconscious hear that and then sort of
Yes.
figures it out
Just
for you a
say
little bit?
every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every
Day
day
in
in
every
every
way,
way, I'm getting better
and
and
better.
better. That's all you got to say.
I like
That's
that.
easy enough.
Yeah.
And your subconscious hears this, that every day in every way, I'm getting better and better.
Yeah.
And if you keep telling yourself this mantra every day,
In every
every
way.
day, you're going to get better and better.
better.
Wow.
And see your life turning around.
Well, that already feels better,
That
doesn't
does
it?
feel good. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be using that
Put it
all
on
day
my
long.
arm.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So, and then and then you kind of said earlier, if you need help getting into your subconscious, then where would people find you?
My website is called Balance, the number 4 Life. So balance4life.biz. And it has an 800 number. Or you can also text at 248-534-9000. And it's text only.
Okay. And where are you located at?
I have 2 offices, one in Farmington around Grand River and Orchard Lake, and the other office is in Sterling Heights on 19 Mile and Shaner by Lakeside Mall. So 2 offices. I work out of Mondays and Wednesdays in Farmington, and Tuesdays and Thursdays in Sterling Heights.
Okay. Great.
Wow, Hena Husain,
my
thank you
gosh.
so much
Yeah.
for being here. So let's say it one more time. Every day,
In every way, I'm getting better and better.
Okay, well, Sherri, I think it's time for us to go off every day in every way in our good fat life and get better and better.
Yes.
Yeah. Yay. Until next time.
Until next time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Till
you.
next time. Thank you for having me. I loved it.